So it is day 4 of Take and Make Camp. Today we are soap carving some ivory soap. So your hands will get kind of clean doing it. And you should have, before we get started, something down on the table where you're working, because it does get a little messy. The other thing to keep track of is when we really start carving, it can get on the floor. So, I mean, it's soap, so it's no big deal, but you do want to make sure that, to be mindful of that. So you can put some old newspaper down. I just have old painting paper here because it's art studio. It doesn't really matter too much. And honestly, this soap could only help around here, not hurt. So you want to have something down, okay? And what I would like you to do is, first step is, can everyone get a pencil, some sort of piece of paper, and a pair of scissors? Pencil, paper, scissors. And your first step is going to be, and those of you joining me already, sorry, this is a repeat, is you're going to trace the bar of soap so that you know what size it is. And once you have traced the soap, you could spend a few minutes thinking about what you might do for a design on your soap. The only requirement of your design is that the image should touch the parameters on each side. So if you're going to do a fish, you wouldn't want the fish to be super tiny in the bar of soap. You would want the fish to touch the parameters of the edges. So you could do, it could be a bear. It could be anything you could think of. Just make sure that the image touches each parameter. So why does everyone spend a few minutes drawing out something to do for their bar of soap? Fiona, since you were the first one to join us and we've already had this conversation, do you have an idea of what you're going to do? What are you doing, honey, for your design? Did you do a fish? He looks like a guppy. He's cute. Okay, so, you have, I think I gave you 3 bars of soap. And it's guaranteed one of your soap carvings are going to be a disaster. Your soap is going to break.
I only have 2.
2? All right. Oh, I only gave it 2. I'm sorry. Okay. You could really use any kind of soap to do this. I just was told once that ivory soap in particular is quite soft and easy to carve. So you actually could do this with any bar of soap that you might have at home. It's just ivory soap is known among wood carvers to be just really soft and it's good for kids. So you can get some more soap at home and we can work on that. So yeah, so if you have a little design going, okay, and you've traced it out and you've made sure that it's touching the parameters, then what you want to do is go ahead and cut it out of the paper.
Wait, what's the carve thing? Because I don't know if the bag was open or something, but all that was in there was like 2 toothpicks in the soap.
Yeah. Do you have a plastic knife? You should have had a plastic knife. That's all you need. Lily, you also could just go into the kitchen and get a butter knife, would work too. Okay, so I'm just going to go over my design so that you guys can see it. Here's the beginning of my fish. I'm just going to make sure that he is a little cuter. And I'm going to put some details in him. So your carving of your whatever it's going to be, okay, not only does it touches the parameters, and the reason why we have it touch the parameters is so your image doesn't fall apart, and you're using the full body of the soap bar. Okay. So let me go over my design of my fish. And you can add funny details to whatever you're going to do if you want to. Okay. I think that you guys can see that pretty well. He's kind of weird looking. That's okay. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to cut out your design. So, can everyone see my hands? Yesterday when I was at my brother's camp, I wasn't sure if the internet was working very well when we did the class, but I noticed that there kept being some glitching sort of thing happening. So I'm hoping you're seeing my hands a little bit better today. Okay, so there's my goofy little fish. He is drawn out and cut. Then the next step is that I'm going to open up the bar soap. I will say that ivory soap is not on my favorite soap smelling list. But you want to open the bar of soap. I'll wait till you guys get caught up with that. Looks like you might be busy. Who's working on their design still? Raise your hand.
I just need to cut it out.
Okay. This soap reminds me of somebody's grandmother. It smells. Don't you think it's a little strong? It's like if your dog got skunked, this would be a good soap to use on the dog. It's strong. Don't you think so, Elena? Would you want to? I mean, it's a little smelly. It's strong. And over the years of me teaching kids how to soap carve, it smells good, but it's a little strong.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're going to do now is you're going to lay your design onto your bar of soap. Well, excuse me, that was a big truck going by. And now what you're going to do is you're going to trace your design. And I notice my fish is a little bit bigger than, my fish design for some reason is a little bit bigger than my bar of soap. So I'm going to sacrifice his head a little bit, or his mouth, and retrace it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm very lightly going to trace the edges of my fish. And you'll see when you poke into the soap with a toothpick, you just want to basically scratch into it. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's just one little part. I'm basically scratching in just to get the design in there. Okay. So I have one hand holding my paper down and the other hand doing the tracing. And what I can do after I get all the tracing done is lift it up and like go, I can make my tracing a little deeper, but I'm going to add my mouth because my mouth kind of disappeared. Okay, so all I can see is my light tracing that I did with a toothpick. I'm going over my lines so that you can see it a little bit better. My bar of soap, I think I gave you guys the newer soap. I think this one is a little dry. The funny thing about ivory soap is we could just get it a little bit wet, and then actually it softens right up, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I have a little cup of water here, and you could get a little cup of water from, and you can go over and you can moisturize your soap if that helps you to see your lines a little bit better. So that's what I just did. I went with just a tiny bit of water, and I'm going to go over those lines for my tracing, and they stand out now a bit better. Okay. All right, here's my soap. I've just done the tracing, and now I'm going to start carving. Now, here's the thing. We talked about what a relief sculpture was earlier in the week, right? We talked about how when we did the clay, we did something that was either freestanding, like those figures we did, or we had something that has a back on it, and it's meant to be hung on a wall, which is a relief. So when you think about the soap, you want to be thinking about primarily working in relief, although you could carve the back of it too. So when I think about my fish, I might want to think about, okay, this is, I'm just going to carve a little bit of where his interior design is going to go. So that's where his little eyeball is going to be. I might put a little fin right here. And I'm going to put some texture into these parts. Okay. So the next step is we're going to get my little butter knife and we're going to remove the outside edges. And they are essentially negative shapes. These are the part of the soap that we don't need. And they are called negative shapes. Now the thing is, we can't just go and chop it, okay? Because if we go and chop it, the soap is fragile. You have to do it fairly delicately. So what I do, so I want to take off this little corner right here. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to like kind of saw into it, and you'll see I'm kind of putting it at an angle like this, and I'm sort of moving. I'm not going all the way through the soap. I'm sort of chiseling off. It actually carves kind of insanely well. And I'm just basically carving off a little bit at a time. Make sure that your other hand is out of the way of the soap. And turn it towards myself and look at it and see, have I gone all the way down and across? Oh, God, love the smell of ivory soap. I just love it. Okay. Okay. Now, so I have that edge that's chiseled off mostly. And now I'm going to take a little bit of water so I can see it a little better. And I'm just going to look at it and I'm going to chisel off a little bit more. Okay. Now, probably the hardest part is when, if you have a lot of carving to do and it might create your positive shape, which is my fish, might get a little weak, then you have to really chisel slowly. So a part that's going to be hard for mine is if I want to carve away all of this negative area, it might make this little fin pretty fragile. So I need to be careful that I'm always carving slowly. So I'm going to start carving that away. You just don't want to be chopped.
Go to the next corner then. No.
Lily, what did you do for a design?
I tried to do a strawberry.
Oh.
It looked kind of, I tried to draw like the little fringe things, but then I realized that they were on that part, so it looks a little weird, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, so I'm starting to carve the little fin off right here. And remember, I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and I can hold the soap in my hand, it's fine. Now, if you're carving with a butter knife, you're not with a plastic knife, you don't need to worry too much about like cutting your finger off. But generally, if you are using a real knife, a metal one, you need to make sure that you're always carving away. You need to be careful of your hands slipping. With this little plastic knife, I actually can carve very carefully towards myself as I do this little part right here. I like to use not the part where it's serrated, but actually this part of the knife, because I find that it just does a great job. Okay, and as you're going, so you can see what you're doing, tip it with a little bit of water so that you can see what's happening. And actually that just helps you carve it generally, is getting it a little bit wet. Um, so if you were to go shopping and you wanted your parents to get you some soap, you could certainly get ivory, but you could try some other soaps too. You could see what your parents already have at home. If it's a handmade soap, handmade soaps often are a little too soft. So that's something to keep in mind. It's sort of this gentle balance between it being hard, but being soft, but not too soft. Okay, so I have about half of that area done. Now I'm doing the other area. Now, a common problem is with carving soap is that you get impatient and then you start whacking at it and trying to remove too much. So you want to make sure you're just removing a little bit at a time. Okay, there. I've got this part of my soap is mostly carved. Take a look, okay? And I'm gonna go along with the water. Oh, that was exciting. Just scared. Did you guys see what just happened? Jack, I'm glad you're laughing a little bit. I almost got attacked by a drawing board. I had it up in the window because it was so bright. I guess it's fine. God, it scared me half to death. Okay, now we don't want to keep that ivory sign on there. So wait a minute, I'm gonna carve that little part a little bit more. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the water with the ivory part, and I'm gonna very gently put it right in my hand, a whole bar of soap, and I'm gonna carve that out. And I don't mind if I'm just carving like all of this whole surface of my fish and using the serrated part. Kind of looks cool. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to start coming over to where I carved that little cut part where I'm starting to make that fin. And I'm going to start doing it at an angle a little bit so that the fish is a little more cylindrical. It's not like flat. So now I've got this nice angle here. And I must say doing this is incredibly satisfying. So I've carved away the ivory part and I'm working on now this whole area. And if I really want to really start molding it, then what I've got to do is put some water on it, get off all those pieces, take a look at it. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but what's happening now is the ivory sign is gone and the angle of the fish, do you see that right there? Is I'm starting to get a nice angle right here. So the fish has a rounded edge. Okay, and my hands are getting nice and clean at the same time. This might be a great activity to do outside in the backyard because then you could just like let the soap go all over the ground and then just wash it. It's fine. Okay. All right, so guess what? Now that I've removed these two chunks that are next to each other, I'm going to go to the next one. And I think the next one I'll do is probably I'll do his little mouth up here. And the toothpick, if I want to, now I could probably draw in where the eye is a little bit more on the top. Now that the ivory sign is gone, I could draw where the eye is. And I could also draw where the other little fin is right here. Now, if I wanted the eye or the fin to be raised, then what I would do is just go ahead and carve away the area around the part that I want to be raised. So if I want to make that fin, I really want to work the relief aspect of this, then I would remove all of the area, just slowly dig down so I can make that fin pop forward. Let's see if I can show you how that works. We can see how that fin is coming forward because I'm carving away. I'm just going down a level of relief on the other, in the area around it. And I can take some water and have a better look at what's going on here. Okay, so my little fin on the top is looking pretty good. It's not done. My fin on the bottom is pretty well developed. I want to see where the eyeball is a little bit more. So I'm going to carve around that a little bit. But I think now I'm going to go into this little part where the mouth is. And that's going to be tricky. I'm going to put some water down because it's just a small part. Again, just carve a little bit at a time. Now the only problem with the soap is now with all this water on it, it's getting slippery. Has anyone had that problem yet? Elena, did you carve the life out of your soap bar? What happened there? It looks like a massacre. Wait, hold
Mine
on.
does not look anywhere near good.
No, no, it's not easy. I'm kind of making it look easy, but it's actually really not.
I had to do a starfish, then it broke, so I made it into a dress.
Oh, okay. Yeah, starfish is a great idea. That is a little tricky because it has so many appendages, right? So you don't have a lot of big areas that are touching the parameters. So did it break?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of what you have to do too, is you get to be like, well, that wasn't quite what I planned. So use the lessons of that for your next one. I mean, you're welcome to go ahead and start your other bar if your first one, like, you're done. Now, here's another thing I can tell you. I'm sure your parents are going to be just thrilled that I did. You can take all your soap carvings, put it in a microwave-safe dish, and microwave it for like 15 seconds at a time, and you'll watch the soap bubble and get crazy weird. And then you let it cool, and then you can massage it and shape it into your hands. I didn't just tell you that, but it's kind of fun. But that's something you can do. So yeah, save your shavings. You can play around with them later.
Okay.
Okay. So feel free to go ahead if you want to. If your first bar of soap was a total fail, you can start another one. Just that's up to you. Okay. I'm gonna just keep working on my little fish here. I'm gonna keep carving away. I'm working on his little mouth.
This bar says worry.
What was that?
This bar says worry.
That's funny. The eye was carved out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you can use whatever soap you have at home. It's just ivory soap is just known for, first of all, ivory soap is kind of inexpensive, but two, it's just fairly soft, so it takes to carving quite well.
My mom gets ivory.
No, we don't either. I don't really like the smell of it. It's too perfumed for my liking. It's gonna
She gets it.
Who gets it?
My mom.
She does?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's totally, you can use some of it. I'm sure your mother would let you do some more. And then you can put it in the bathroom with yourself. Okay, so there's the beginning. My fish is starting to come along. See his little mouth? Okay. But remember, you're just carving a little bit at a time, and you're taking time, and your design has to touch those edges, the perimeter. If they're like a starfish is such a good idea, but very delicate. And you can go to the other side and carve that too. So your sculpture, instead of being relief, could be freestanding. You could have a design of something that extends to the back, or you could just do some sort of surface thing to the back of it. Right now, I'm just carving the whole back so I can get rid of the ivory sign. And I just like doing this. I find it really satisfying doing that. Okay. Now, let's see how his little mouth is looking. Pretty good. And you can also go into little areas with the toothpick. That's why I gave that to you. So this is a small area. So I'm going to go in with a toothpick and try to remove. Remove a little bit more where I can't get into with a knife. Keep rotating your angle on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side of my fish. So I have one side of my fish is, one half is done for the most part, and now I have to work on removing that part, and then I have to go into this part of the fin here. Hey, does anybody want to show me what they're up to? Lily, let me see yours. You're always open. Come on, just show it.
It looks very deformed.
Go close. Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't, oh wait, there's my knife. I'm probably gonna try my other one.
Okay. Elena, let me see yours. I know you're dressed. Let's see it again. Oh, you're starting another one? Okay. Jack, you want to share yours?
This time I'm doing an iPhone.
Any of you guys want to share? Okay, that's pretty good, Jack. What about you, the rest of you guys? Want to share them? Come on. Let me see what's going on. Ah, look at your cute little fish, Fiona. That's cute. Very nice. Guys, what about you? The guys club there. Come on, show me. Grant. Ooh, not bad. I'm not sure what it is, but he looks cute. Okay, so you guys could keep going with this. You could get your other bar soap, make another design, or you could just open it up and just go for it, which is what I'm guessing Elena is doing, which is great. It's fine with me. Remember just the general rules. Carve a little bit at a time. Get it a little bit wet so you can see what you're doing. Gosh, can you guys hear those trucks go by? I'm fairly unimpressed by people doing that. Creating noise pollution to my lovely art experience here with their revved up truck. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I think I got the little tip of my, I think my fish is actually looking more whale-like than fish-like. Fiona, are you starting another one? No? Okay, remember not to overcarve. If you overcarve your design, it will just, you will just whittle it away.
I'm gonna start my second one.
Okay. Actually, maybe it's not a whale. Maybe my guy is looking like a little puffer fish. Have you guys ever seen a puffer fish? They're so cute. Although he's puffed out the other way. I one time went snorkeling a long time ago, and there was a big fish right by me, huge. It was probably like, I don't know, half of my size, and it was a puffer fish. It wasn't puffed up, thank God. That would have been terrifying. But it had the cutest face ever. And they have, those puffer fish have the tiniest little outside fins. Their outside fins are like these little tiny things. And they have these giant eyes that almost look like they're on the front of their head. Have you ever seen them? They have them sometimes, the little puffer fish. I've seen them in the pet store. Anyone ever seen them? They're super cute. So does anyone notice I'm turning my sculpture in different directions so I can keep seeing it? So I'm treating it as if it's completely three-dimensional, not as if it's on the table the whole time. So I can see what's going on. Okay, so I've got my thing coming along. Now I'm going to go to getting the back end, his other negative area, carved away. Oh, there we go. Who likes doing this? Do you guys like it? Fun? So if you are carving a piece of wood, and they use the word whittling, what that means is to whittle means remove small parts, remove small pieces. And you'd have to use a fairly soft wood. Now, if it was big enough that would fit in your hand, but not so small enough you're just using your fingers, it would be hard to carve a sculpture with a really narrow piece of wood. But that's something for you could go online and take a look, but I would suggest a soft wood might be some pine or some, maybe even some cedar wood if you could get some of that. A very, very, yeah, very soft wood actually is balsa wood. We don't have balsa trees in Maine, that's for sure. But you can get balsa wood. And balsa wood is quite soft. And I do have kids carve balsa wood here at the studio. You can buy blocks of it online. But there is I can't think of this place. There's a great tool store down in Wiscasset area. You can go, if you go online and look, oh, I wish I could remember the name of it. It does have a catchy name. But they have lots of good whittling tools. If you were to buy stuff at like AC Moore for whittling with wood, what I have found that stuff is just junk. It's not very good quality, unfortunately. It'd be better to get some tools from a real tool place. AC Moore and Michael's is just sort of super limited. The other place I like to go to in Maine, the place I like to go to in Maine to get art supplies when I can, is Artists and Craftsmen in Portland, and that's out on Forest Ave. They also have a online website you could go to, and I'm sure they have some whittling tools. Okay, so I just started getting into the back of my soap. He's awfully cute. He's really cute. All right. Oh. So because mine is a fish, having the serrated texture into him and keeping it without smoothing it out is work. So like I could make this whole, his back fin have the knife texture, and then I could have his body be smooth. And that would be kind of an interesting visually. If you get a little more sophisticated, you could think about that. Did anybody like kill their second bar soap as well? Or are you guys okay?
I'm working on it.
All right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to get his eyeball to stand out. See, I don't even know what's the front anymore and what's the back. And you could clean off your knife every once in a while. It's probably getting pretty gooey. Let's see. So there's my guy. He's kind of got a weird thing going on right there. So I'm gonna carve a little bit more. We really want his little eyeball to stand out, at least. Let's see if I can dig in. It's kind of hard as if you have these little holes and then you get it wet, and then what happens is the soap fills in the hole. So the only thing I could think of I could do is I could get a little paintbrush that's dry and see if that works. So I just carved this area away. Let's see if I got a little dry paintbrush to see if it works. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that, guys. So I have my, oh, wrong way. Can you see that? So if you want to make a design on the surface of your critter, so look at this. I'm going to dig in. I want to make a nice round circle right there, or I want to make this edge really stand out. If I brush it with my hands, I tend to put all of those little shards of soap go back in. But if you take a dry watercolor brush or whatever you have, and look, I can get my nice clean edge. He's really rather cute. So Fiona, that might work well with yours. I don't know. And actually, that might not be a bad thing to do anywhere with your soap to try to remove any of those little pieces. Is just go ahead. Now, I won't lie, all this soap carving is going to make me sneeze. Oh, let me try not to sneeze. All right, I'm getting this feeling that you guys are sort of reaching your ending point. Is this true? Elena is gone. Some of my other friends, you guys are all gone. Are you all washing your hands? Hello. Are you done?
I don't know.
How about the rest of you?
I was trying to make a cloud and it didn't really.
All right, well, I'm gonna go wash my, my hands, and I'm gonna check in with each of you, but I wanna see, I wanna talk to you a little bit about what we're doing tomorrow. So I'm gonna go wash my hands. Oh yeah, Elena, go ahead and squish all those pieces together. And we're gonna talk a little bit about tomorrow, but you can keep on carving for the moment, okay?
I carved this. I'm so good at soap carving.
Did you really?
No, I got it in France. My mom made me pretend that I carved it.
Oh my goodness, hold it up to the camera.
I carved it.
That's so cute. Super cute. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands, kids. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about tomorrow. Oh, I need to wash them though. I feel like I'm just going to sneeze that soap everywhere. Oh, okay. Phew. Well, I'm quite pleased with my little fish. I don't know how the rest of yours came out, but he's pretty cute. What about you guys? Want to show me some of yours? Why don't you show me your whatever you came up with? Hold it up. Let me see, even if it's just a lump. Anybody? Hold it up closer, Jack. Cool. Do you like it?
Miss Celine,
Yeah.
I have to go now, but
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, Elena, tomorrow, just really quick, we're going to do this. And just be ready for that, okay?
okay.
All right, sweetie. I'll see you later. Have a good day.
Okay, bye, you too.
All right, bye-bye. So the rest of you guys, tomorrow, Elena, can you leave or do you want me to kick you out? Oh, she's gone. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to be doing some mold making. And we're going to get this. And what I want you to do, we're going to do two things tomorrow because this will not take very long. We are going to do some mold making. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what a mold is. And we're also, I just wanted to kind of talk you through painting your little clay things you made earlier in the week. So what you want to have tomorrow is, you want to have this.
My sculptor's arms broke off today.
Oh.
I fell over.
Well, maybe, Lily, if you do have something broken, I'm glad you brought that up. Elmer's glue, white glue, is the best glue for that. So if you want to put some Elmer's glue on and then somehow clamp it or put a rubber band around it to hold the arms on, or you could always keep him armless and put arms on of another thing, or you could just chuck it, whatever you want, if you want to save him or not. So anyway, so tomorrow we're going to do we're going to heat this putty up and we're going to press it around a small object. And it might be something that you're going to watch me do, or it might be something that we could do together. We'll see how that goes. And we're going to paint our clay sculptures. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this stuff. Actually, why don't I just walk you through this? I had a bunch of this, and I just am giving it to you as a little freebie because, first of all, I had it, and two, I wasn't sure if it's all dried up. So I'm just going to show you. It's an air-dried clay. It's really peculiar. A lot of craft people use it for making earrings because it's lightweight. So you take a piece of it off. It feels, and it's kind of limited what you can do, but what you want to do is you want to take a small piece of it and you can just mess around with it. Now, I'm not sure, as I'm playing around with this, I don't know if this stuff is going to do anything. So I have low expectations, but you have it, and you could just play around with it today. It's a paper clay, and I think what happened was, I think it dried out. But if nothing else, you can just goof around with it. It's not really shaping like it should. Like it should be rolling up and look what it's doing. Feel free to throw that out. I just thought I would get rid of it and see if you guys could use it. But I don't think it's very usable, honestly. I think it's junk. Okay. So do we have any questions about our soap carving from today? No? Is anybody going to do some more today? Maybe of soap carving? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Okay, well, go ahead and do that. It is really fun. So, I mean, you could even go in your bathroom and see what other bar of soap has already been in the bathroom. It's already been used because it'll be nice and soft because it's been wet a number of times. So you could go ahead and get a soap right out of your bathroom sink, whatever, and carve that. And don't forget that little trick about if you want to do some little details like this, that you can get a dry brush and remove all those bits, which is kind of cool. So have fun with it. You can take some pictures and let me know how it goes. And it'll be easy cleanup in terms of your hands. But if you do have a microwave, you could take some of those soap pieces, put them in a dish and microwave it just for like 10 seconds and watch it through the window. It's pretty fascinating. But be careful because it heats right up and it can get very hot. Don't do it for very long because I don't know if it'll explode, but it may be dangerous. All right, kids. So I will see you tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions? Lily, are you good? Oh, Lily zoned out.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
good.
Are you guys all set? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
No? All right. Have fun today. Anyone doing anything cool? Anyone going
Does
anywhere?
this look like a cloud?
Yes.
Okay.
I also thought it looked like my old car.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a car, too.
It's cute. It's cute. All right. Have fun. Stay cool. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Bye, Jen.